Daily Heavenly Manna, September 22nd. The chosen text from Psalms 23 verses 6. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Explanation. The goodness and mercy which will anticipate beyond the veil has its beginning here already and is thus to be appreciated. Whoever knows nothing of the joys of the Lord in the present time will evidently not be prepared for the joys of the Lord in the kingdom. Whatever blessings and joys he may attain to under the administration of the kingdom during the millennium age, there is then joy and rejoicing granted to the Lord's faithful ones, not a momentary matter connected with their first acceptance of the Lord and their consecration of themselves to Him. The goodness and mercy of the Lord is not to be looked back to as a thing of the remote past, but is to be recognized and appreciated as a thing of a present. Day by day, God's goodness and mercy follow us, refresh us, strengthen us, bless us. Reprint number 3270. Amen.
Okay, let's unpack this. We've got a really interesting source today, and it zeroes right in on one specific verse, Psalm 23, verse 6.
The classic. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me.
Exactly that one. All the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So our mission for this deep dive is, well, to get into the source's main point here.
Which is?
That really appreciating blessings, divine blessings, right now, in the present, that this is like fundamental preparation for the future, for those bigger blessings later on.
Right. And what's really striking, I think, is how the source talks about continuity. It's pushing back against maybe separating goodness and mercy now from dwelling in God's house later.
So not two different things.
Not entirely separate, no. The ideas of the future state, the kingdom, dwelling forever, whatever you call it, it doesn't just pop up out of nowhere.
Okay.
It grows out of the present.
Yeah.
How we see and deal with things right now is sort of the training ground.
That really changes the perspective. The source actually says the goodness and mercy we anticipate beyond the veil. It says it has its beginning here already. So the future is being built kind of with today's experiences.
That's the core argument, yeah.
So if that's true, why does the source frame recognizing present blessings as a requirement, not just, a nice thing to do?
Well, it ties it directly to our spiritual capacity. It's not just some rule. The source is basically saying it's about spiritual readiness, calibration.
Calibration, okay.
Yeah, the text actually states something like, whoever knows nothing of the joys of the Lord in the present time will evidently not be prepared for the joys of the Lord in the kingdom. So think that like, sensory training. If you can't even notice or feel the small daily blessings now, then your spiritual senses aren't really sharp enough, maybe? Not sensitive enough to handle the huge, infinite joy of the future. Even if you technically receive those blessings, like in the millennial age the source mentions, you wouldn't be tuned in.
Wow. So not appreciating the small joy today actually blocks the big joy tomorrow internally.
That seems to be the implication.
And this is where the source makes that interesting point about time. It warns us not to just look back, not to see goodness and mercy only as a thing of the remote past.
Yes. Crucial point.
Like relying on that initial moment of conversion or consecration years ago.
Exactly. That's the danger, right? Relying on past glories. That past faith is vital, absolutely. But the source argues it's not enough for preparing now.
It forces a daily check-in.
It does. If we just hang everything on one big moment from way back when, we might become, spiritually complacent. We miss the fresh stuff, the grace that's arriving today.
So goodness and mercy need to be seen as a thing of the present, active, happening now.
Precisely.
Okay, I see the shift. It's like continuous upkeep, not a one-time setup. And the text gets specific, doesn't it, about how this works day to day?
It does.
It says God's goodness and mercy follow us, refresh us, strengthen us, bless us daily. It's active. It's pursuing us.
Yeah, and that's the practical bit. It's not just feeling generally positive. It's about spotting the specific ways we're refreshed or strengthened, right in the middle of whatever we're going through.
That constant noticing.
That's what builds the spiritual capacity we talked about. It's like exercising a muscle. That's the muscle needed to dwell in the house of the Lord forever, neglect the daily practice, and
But muscle weakens.
Atrophies.
Okay. Right.
So wrapping this up then, what's the main takeaway? This source is really challenging how we think about time and spiritual resources. It's pushing us to see goodness and mercy, not just as history or some far-off reward, but as something active, a daily resource. And that resource directly impacts our readiness for, well, forever.
Which leads to a very practical question for you, listening right now. If that daily appreciation, that constant recognition of goodness and mercy happening now, is the necessary training.
The preparation for dwelling eternally with the Lord, then what does that perspective demand from you right now? What immediate action regarding maybe a blessing you noticed yesterday, or even just 5 minutes ago? That's where the real preparation starts today.